Sometimes, a game can sell itself off concept alone. At least, I'll see something like crazy shooter with loot and co-op and be intrigued. And in a lot of ways, I think this holds true for Nevergrave. It's a 2D action roguelike with the twist being co-op and a possession system. That is actually really cool since few games in the genre support co-op. Plus, who doesn't want to take over a powerful enemy to aid you on your quest? And in a charming art style, town building mechanics plus several different locations to explore, is it a must play or is it better left in the grave? Outside of the introduction, there really isn't a narrative. Most of the time is spent building the world. Basically, you're a sentient hat that ultimately helps rebuild a town, and that's about it. Most of the dialogue outside of this is either to give your character personality, unlock something, or simply tell you what to do. While this might not be everyone's cup of tea, this means gameplay needs to do the heavy lifting. Simply put, there are two distinctly different gameplay modes. One is a town builder, and the other is exploration. Town building follows a rather predictable gameplay loop. Progressing through the latest area will unlock new facilities, whereas optional blueprints can be found by exploring maps. These being things like a specific style chair or decoration. To place something, simply unlock the item, select it in the build catalog, and then set it to wherever you want. It's really easy, though it obviously only works if there is an existing foundation. Beyond that, most facilities serve a specific function. Grow plants, get water, share items in co-op, eat food, and you get the idea. Nevergrave really has a strong foundation, one that is held back by a number of poor choices. Tutorials are a tricky thing. Too short and it helps no one. Too long and people lose interest, ultimately missing out on the important information. In Nevergrave's case, it's the worst of both worlds. The initial tutorial teaches fundamentals, coupled with a few tricks. I just like to see more of an emphasis put on defensive moves like dodge and the core gameplay loop. Take the upgrade system. Each of these require a variety of resources, which also act as a progression gate. Most of them seem relatively straightforward as well. You see things like aids, various crystals, metal ores, spider webs, and just assume these things are obtained through natural progression. Some of the more complicated ones, like tomatoes, are explained. You get seeds, plant them, water, and they'll quickly grow. So when I see a pumpkin, I just assume there are pumpkin seeds that work the same way. Where it gets a bit more complicated are iron, wax, flowers, and what have you. Instead of being a traditional drop or grown, they require alchemy. Meaning you need to talk to the nun, gain access to the cauldron, make the facility, followed by recognize said resource needs to be created. Not terrible, honestly it should happen through natural progression, I just like to see it highlighted via some kind of tutorial. Mostly because it actually has a substantial impact on the game. Not just by creating these helpful items, it seemingly unlocks the ability to get them as a drop. This is the exact type of thing people will want to know, and players will feel punished by not having immediate access to. Co-op is another one that can be handled better. To co-op with someone, you need to finish the initial tutorial, go on a mission, and then it should unlock when the first area is completed. It happens rather unceremoniously in a pop-up. To actually know what gives you co-op, you need to go to build, select it, and then read the description. Again, I know this sounds petty, but it would be so much better to just have someone outright explain what it does. From there, co-op is a mixed bag. Despite enjoying the gameplay experience, using it is rather weak. Not only is there no matchmaking, rooms can only be joined by entering an 8-digit code. Thankfully, things like Discord make it easy to connect with people, but it's rather underwhelming if you don't know anyone with the game. That said, I actually really like how co-op works. Up to 4 players can independently explore the map or work together to overcome a challenge. Certain resources are shared, like perks, whereas magic and materials are not, though materials can be given via a shared chest. Co-op also allows for 1 revive, in addition to each player gaining a revive if one is earned on a run. Little things like this eliminate a lot of negativity. There'll still be some when someone hogs the best resources, but at least the potential difference is rather minuscule. The only thing that sucks is the lack of hero moments. Some of the best multiplayer moments are being the last person standing, beating the odds, and managing to walk away victorious. Here, once players are out of revives, it's one and done. I could have 4 potions, full health, the boss is 1 hit, and the run is over if my friend falls. This just kinda sucks. Sure, it can create feels bad moments, but you're already forced to play with friends. Might as well allow someone to earn some bragging rights. The final weird choice I want to highlight is randomly generated levels. While the road concept can help invigorate a game long term, it doesn't do well with a general lack of options. After a couple runs, locations start to become predictable. You know how to handle this place, what enemies will appear here, how the gauntlet will shake out, and it starts to feel stale. It's a problem a few games have, with the most notable being Returnal, where the mystery isn't what might happen, but rather the order that it occurs. Mind you, there are some enemy variations, it just isn't enough to be interesting. At most you'll handle that run incorrectly and then apply that knowledge going forward. And all this is a shame because the core loop is a lot of fun. Weird choices aside, Nevergrave's exploration loop feeds into the elements I think make roguelites delightful. It is possible to be overpowered. There is a strong emphasis put on build, along with giving everything an opportunity cost. There is no option that is strictly the best. Sometimes I'll take a revive, other times I accept more damage will make that event less likely. As a result, I want to explore every level, gain every perk, followed by trying to overcome every challenge. There are also a lot of resources that fit different niches. Some levels, the tracking blades feel overpowered, whereas other stages are significantly easier with a large area of attack. It is that balance of being good in specific situations or fitting an arguably useful niche that I like. Even the possession mechanic is a cheeky way to mitigate damage taken or handle certain high-risk plays. Best of all, upgrades feel optional, as in you can unlock them and make things a decent bit easier, but they're not required. You can absolutely beat a level with the right build or tactic, though they do make things significantly more accessible. I also love the segmented approach, even if it's likely going to be a divisive choice. Most roguelike games allow players to progress until they're overwhelmed, whereas Nevergrave segments each level. By this I mean, the first run is a single floor. Upon completion, part of the area boss's door will open and then the run ends. As a result, a successful run will have multiple runs simply unlocking things. I've already seen a number of players call this tedious and attempt to pad the experience along with a variety of negatives. However, I actually think it's pretty nifty. Let's face it, odds are you're gonna lose anyway. There are new enemies, traps, mechanics, and I mean something is likely going to get you. So, instead, you get to go all out exploring the initial floor. I don't need to plan ahead, think perks might be better later, or any of that. I just need to survive long enough to make it to the end. In addition to making things, at least in my opinion, a lot more accessible, newly found resources can be spent in town. Like the second area adds aids, spider webs, plus a few other things. Those are needed for a couple upgrades, making my next attempt even easier to manage. Nevergrave is in a weird place. I don't think it's a bad game, but I do think it has a rather weird learning curve. You need to be willing to explore all of the systems, make use of whatever perks are available, on top of really getting to know the core systems. I don't think any of these concepts are bad, I just think it would benefit greatly from a slightly more robust introduction. Mostly because the core gameplay loop can be a lot of fun. It really plays into the concepts I think really make the genre work. At least, if you can get past the shortcomings like weak co-op, limited stage variety, and even things like possession being a rather small part of the game. So, for these reasons, I'd say it's worth it if you really enjoy the genre, especially if you have a friend to join you. Otherwise, it might be better to wait for a bigger sale. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to leave a like, and for more content, please subscribe.